Hey everyone, this is Girish back after a very long gap with interesting guest. I have been following this person from a while. I had met him even when I was trying to launch my own app review earlier. While he was there, he was supportive. He gave me feedback. At the same point of time, I even had met him much more earlier due to one some interaction on Twitter. But it happens to be like I have been following this person from a while, and I wanted to talk to him because he's one person where he lives life to the fullest, as well as he also runs his own business as a solo person, and he pretty much seems very interesting. Phalgun, thank you so much. Thanks for making time
Sure.
and allowing me to talk to
Awesome.
you for a few minutes. It makes a lot of sense to me to talk to humans like you because you really try to uh, be signal focused, not get attracted towards noise. So, having said that, for the audience, how would you want to introduce yourself if you could do that, please?
So yeah, my name is Phalgun. I'm a techie. I've been in Bangalore all my life, so there was like a lot of startups and tech around me when I was growing up. So now I studied engineering. I was a backend engineer initially, and then I became a product manager, and now I guess I can call myself a product engineer. So yeah, that's me.
Got it. So, how did you just stumble? I'm not going to talk about simple human, but mostly into the tech space because I think you were earlier
hmm
working in a company and then you decided to take a gap and then you stumbled on something and then you started doing it. And it is not something like you stumbled on simple human just straightforward, right? You would have done some earlier
Yeah.
things before. What was the nascent stage? How did you get started?
Ah, Honestly, I think I've been building apps and products since I was in college. I graduated in 2012, so it's like a long time ago. But I graduated around the time when mobile apps had just started. Android came out, became very popular in 2010 or something like that. So I think I was just at the right place at the right time. And right after college, I joined. I mostly only work with startups. So startups automatically mean a lot of ownership, and also they give you more room to build things, right? So side projects or within the company itself. So I was a regular at hackathons. I won a few, and I always liked hacking things for myself. That's how I would say it all started. So the whole thing with Simple Human of the last few years has just been a case of realizing that, hey, I would want to work with a small team, or I don't want to work with too many people. I want to build something which is not too ambitious but moderately ambitious, to just live off it, while also like giving me time to do other things which are more important to me in life. So yeah, that's how the journey ended up here. But I've built multiple apps in the past. I've had like viral moments back in 2011 as well. So yeah, it's been a long journey.
Yeah, right. So we got to know you through Twitter, right? So X
hmm
currently. So you were you really uh, like planned to use X or Twitter in the way you use because the
hmm
jargon congratulations pretty much started
Okay.
and it has happened. I did not want to bring it up, but I really I'm trying to bring up that essence that uh, there is some interesting moments which happen unknowingly and then you take it to the next level, but since you were an early user, I think you were on X from a long time, and what did
Yeah,
you see
yeah.
which made you think and you use the platform really well?
I think I started using Twitter since 2011, and at that time it was mostly just the tech crowd who were on it. I saw a lot of startup founders, and that was really inspiring. And I was usually following them for startup wisdom or yarn, and what they'd be talking about and how it is to build stuff. So I was in the tech circles from the beginning, but I really did not have a following. I think I got to even 1,000 followers probably late 2010s. It took me over 8 or 9 years to even get to 1,000 followers. So it was a fairly slow journey, and it was only in the last few years, maybe because the algorithm has changed a little bit. Like some of my tweets really started doing well, and that's how I gained some followers. But Twitter is the platform that I spend the most amount of time, and you probably know with the whole congratulations thing, that was also something which was a side effect of it. So it did help me. I think even for work, I use Twitter a lot. Two of my last three jobs were Actually, two of my last four jobs were actually from Twitter. I just DM'd the founders on Twitter, and that's how it came into being. So yeah, just being on Twitter too long, I think that's the first place I naturally go to whenever I need something. And even when I was building like products and apps, that's where I would like test run it anyway. So Twitter is like a big part of everything.
Got it. So now comes to the we can come to the point where you started Simple Human. You would have stumbled on few things, or you would have been developing an app, and suddenly it hits you like, okay, here is a problem statement. Because we always have been reading about the VC-backed startup or whichever it was bigger one, Superhuman, right? So, and now you come as Simple Human. So, how did it all take place? I mean, like what made it happen?
Honestly, the story isn't very exciting. I needed it myself. I was a big superhuman user. I was paying it out of my pocket for over 2 years. So I've spent close to $800 or something like that to superhuman, and I just thought that was a massive amount of money. Like, I mean, I could buy an iPhone with that kind of money. So I thought there needs to be like a way where it needs to be something simpler and all of that. So I sat down and thought about what are the top features of Superhuman that I use that I can't miss, I can't live without in Gmail, right? Like I went back to Gmail and I was like looking at what's the delta. And then I figured that, hey, maybe a Chrome extension can actually plug the difference, right? So the initial idea was just, it was something just for me. I did not intend to publish it. I did not intend to make money from it. I just wanted to stop paying Superhuman $30 a month, and it worked, and I started talking about it. People started I think I had my first small viral moment when someone retweeted me or something, and it really had a lot of superhuman users signing up for my wait list. Some really big Silicon Valley people started signing up for it. Even now I have some big names using it. So that gave me some confidence that, hey, this is probably like a real problem. Let's just build it and see what happens. At this point, I still had a job. I was a head of product at a Series A startup before this. So I was working with a friend on this one, and then eventually my friend decided to go pursue other things, and I went on and like started building this. It also coincided with the whole AI wave, with the coding tools getting more and more easier to use. I was out of touch with programming for a very long time, and even when I was an engineer, I was a backend engineer. I did not do JavaScript. So with like now with all of the AI tools, language doesn't matter. You just need to know the right way of building things. So that really encouraged me to restart this. There was a time when the extension was actually deprecated. It wasn't really working for new users. It was only the older users could use it. And with AI, I could actually redo the whole thing. It was a major thing, a major overhaul of the entire code base. So yeah, that's how and I landed on this. And then at the same time, I had taken a career break. I had taken a sabbatical. I was traveling around the world, and I really did not want to go back to work. I just felt like, hey, this cannot be the end of my sabbatical. I needed to last a little bit longer. But I also was running out of my sabbatical fund. Like, I did not want to depend on my savings, but so I had to figure out, can I make money out of things that I already have? So I had Simple Human already, which I was using. I saw some of the other people using it. Very few, there was hardly any revenue, honestly, at that point. And once I started working on it, revenue started coming in. Now I've been living off it for the last 14, 15 months now. So it sustains my lifestyle. It helps me do what I want. So yeah, I think it's mostly just because of AI and all the stuff that he can do now is why I'm here.
Yeah. So see, the interesting point is you're not hitting it just like a not like a business person, but you're still talking as if like it has happened to you, right? So that's the interesting part.
Yeah.
Because if you go and see, you're not once taken the name of MRR, you have not even
Mhm.
told me LTV, CAC, anything. and you are explain me something which has happened to you. So that's the whole point which I was behind. Like, how did this person gel or find out uh, the
Mhm.
inflection point, right? But it seems like there is no mantra here happening. It is like it
Yeah.
happened and you reached out and users start trickling. But then comes the interesting part. Now, when you know that users are using it, you would have done something to reach out to the audience, wider audience. How did you do that? And what were the channels?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great question. I think that's been the hardest part on like my whole building journey, honestly. Put it simply, what's the cheapest way of telling people who need your product that your product exists, right? So that has been the hardest challenge. Initially, it was a lot of word of mouth. People were discovering organically. Um, People were searching for superhuman alternatives and they would land on my page. I ranked in the top 10 most of the time. One SEO hack is having a Chrome extension really helps with your SEO because Google ranks the Chrome Web Store links very high.
Okay.
So even if your product doesn't have a doesn't need a Chrome extension, I would still recommend just build a dummy Chrome extension which links to your site, and like your domain rating kind of goes up. So that really helped. I did not even have a website initially. It was just a Notion page. My Chrome Web Store listing was the primary page that people landed on. And because it was in the top 10, I had a lot of organic searches. And the other thing that I did was because I was already a big user of Twitter, I would search for people complaining about Superhuman's price. And then I would go and plug Simple Human to them. And I would get some installs because of that as well. Whether it was the original poster who was complaining about the price or someone else, it was like I definitely got some installs through Twitter through that. But the ones who actually were paying were the organic users because the intent is high, right? They're looking for alternatives and they found this, it works, so they end up paying a lot more. Um, and eventually, I realized, okay, I cannot rely on just the organic stuff. So I did work with a marketing agency to do some SEO content for me, like where they were starting to write blogs and all of that. But content marketing it has a period of not really working for a while, and then it starts working. So in the meantime, I also wanted to try other acquisition channels, considering that now I'll start talking about my LTV. My LTV is fairly low. It's about $100 or 150 or $200. So with that dollar amount, right? I cannot do outbound sales. I cannot do inbound sales. The only two viable options are SEO, like organic search, and referral, where people are referring other people and all of that. Maybe if it's at $500 LTV, I could try ads, performance marketing, and all of that. But I thought, okay, you know what? Let's. I did try referral. I tried to ask people, hey, why aren't you talking about Simple Human to your friends? And some of them were kind of candid. They told me it's not something I talk about. And so I didn't want to, I could not figure out how to do referral. So I went to do performance ads. For the last few months, I've been doing performance ads again on Twitter.
Okay.
So Twitter, Reddit, yeah. So one good thing with Twitter ads is that it allows you to target the followers of somebody. So I can target the followers of Superhuman, their founders, other competitors, because they're very likely to be users of the app, right?
Right.
So I will be able to target better users. And even Reddit, for example, I can target the Superhuman subreddit. So I was just prioritizing whatever ad platforms that allowed me to target the right people. So yeah, these are the three channels that I've used so far. I'm now thinking if I should go explore other ones, but considering the low revenues and the low LTV, I don't want to do something unsustainable. I'm truly running this as a business and not a startup. So I'm very particular about the ROI every single dollar that I put back into the business is bringing me. Yeah. So yeah, so I'm fairly limited in terms of how aggressive I can be with certain strategies.
And you're still a single person managing all this.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I have a few freelancers. I have a video editor. I have a marketing agency who writes content, but they are all ad hoc basis. It's not a recurring thing. So yeah.
So one thing which I could make out in this discussion is like Superhuman also has helped Simple Human in a way, and that is how you discover even how to even
Absolutely.
attract users because the pain points, everything. So that's a very useful point. Not jump and innovate everything. but find the gap and find
Yeah,
a way to actually, yeah, that's an interesting point.
exactly. It's a very clear as that Superhuman is a super addictive product. Like if you can afford to pay $30 or $40 right now every month, go for it. I mean, brilliant product, continue using it. But there are a massive set of people who do not want to pay. Maybe they're not getting enough value out of it or stuff, but they're really used to the same things. I don't know if you've used a code editor, right, or any of your favorite document editors or something. You kind of you've gotten used to that workflow, like the same shortcuts or the same workflows. Now, when you switch to another product, you find like a lot of friction. So that
Got
was
it.
the delta that I was trying to bridge, and that really worked. It was a niche, but it works.
No, properly. And like that,
Yeah.
that's really, I mean, like really thanks for explaining that. And I was just trying to absorb everything. So you use AI, and
Mm.
yeah, I mean, like we have to talk AI not because it's the age of AI. I'm just trying to understand. You travel so much, and when you are traveling, and newer implementations of AI which are happening, uh, are you
Mm.
leveraging AI to its max? Like because you do like
Mhm.
travel, do program,
Yeah.
do everything. So how do you put these things together?
That's a good question. I think I do not try to use every new AI tool out there. Um, I stick to ones that work for me. I was one of the earliest users. I wouldn't say earliest, but I was definitely an early user of Cursor. I think I found them in 2022 or 23. And I've just stuck to it. So I haven't tried Claude Code. I did try Claude Code once, didn't work for me. But so I'm a big believer of I, I pick the tools that work for me rather than what's the best in the market. So that I don't spend too much time in relearning and unlearning things from like the past, right? So I don't have that time. I would rather invest in just like doing net positive things than like just pick up a new thing. So I will probably do it maybe on the weekends or when I find the time where I really see the need for it. But yeah, I don't. Like to answer your questions, no. Like for example, there's so many tools in video editing or like say video generation. A lot of people reached out to me for creating of reels and all of that, right? Like they say, hey, why don't you prompt it yourself to create this reel? But instead, I'd hire a person to do that for me because I know that it'll take me a lot more time.
Got it.
There are other things of the product where I might be much faster. I can be talking to my users or like I find more ROI in these aspects, while the rest I can actually hire help for it.
Got it. Got it. Yeah, yeah, it makes sense. So cursor is what you use.
Yeah, I
Got it.
use Cursor a lot.
Yeah, you told about marketing, you told your coding, and what is this all about traveling? I mean, like, where you are traveling, you you just keep on traveling. You were in Mexico, you are now in Thailand, and you are back in Bangalore. So how did you crack this?
Yeah.
I mean, like, how do you even make up that plan for that year and save so much money?
Oh, wow. So I don't really know. I don't really plan travel, honestly. I just know the next place that I want to go to. The last 2 years are an anomaly in like my whole travel experience. So it is hard to. I don't think it can happen constantly again. But I've been a traveler for a very long time. I first started backpacking in 2015. This is my claim to fame that I started backpacking when mobile internet was still not a thing.
Oh,
The first time I backpacked, it was 5 weeks in Europe. I did not have Google Maps on my phone. I did not have data on my phone. There was no Uber, so I had to use paper maps to like navigate. I had to like talk to people to figure out how to go from one place to another. So I really came from like that background, so now I feel like travel is too easy. But over eventually, I started doing a lot of travel. I got more confidence that I can go to places which are uh, alien to me, where like the culture is different, the language is different, but I can still survive. There was a time, I think 3, 4 years ago, I was in Morocco, and like the first day, I did not have any data on my phone, and it was like a country where the primary language was either Arabic or French, and I knew neither of them. So how am I even going to like figure out where to go, right? So how to find the bus, how to find like the train, how to buy for it, all of those things. So but I still had the confidence of like doing it just because of all the travels from the past. So in the last 2 years, like I said, I took a career break, and initially the plan was not to travel. The plan was, hey, I'm gonna get 12 months, try to build something, do 12 different things, something of that nature. But then I randomly remembered, hey, wait, I wanted to go to Latin America for a very long time. And the only thing that had stopped me all of these years was because it takes a lot of time. I mean, like it's really far away. The flights are expensive. You can't do like a 2 week trip to Latin America. You can't go to Brazil for 2 weeks. The flights just don't make sense. So now I have the time. Why don't I just go there? And that's how I started doing it. I went back to Latin America again in 2025. So once I go there and I figure out, okay, where is the next country I want to go? So yeah, I just came back from Thailand and I don't know where I'll go next. I'll probably wait for a couple of months before I start thinking about it now.
So the next app which you should build would be in travel. And that would make
Oh,
really
no.
sense because
So honestly, travel is a very hard space to build. Like this, I keep telling this to people, whoever come back after like their first, mass big travel experience, right? That do not start building something in travel is what I tell everybody, because it seems like such a relatable problem. Everyone wants to build it, but like travel is probably the hardest industry according to me, especially the consumer side of travel, not the flight bookings. All of those are fine. I think those have become a bit commoditized, but everything else, I think it's such a difficult market in understanding the psychology of people. So I wouldn't build and travel honestly, because I myself know that people have such different varying styles in how they do want to do things. That'll be very hard.
got it. I think you have answered all the questions for me. But to really wrap it up, do you read books? Do you listen to pods? Or do you
Yeah, yeah,
follow
yeah.
someone? Yeah. So if you can
I
share.
don't listen to podcasts anymore, but books, yes, I've been actually, recently I've been listening to a lot of podcasts. So I'm down the rabbit hole of Indian modern history, or rather Indian history, like the recent times since the colonial colonization, and then how did India transform to where we are right now? Like what happened during the freedom struggle? What was the politics behind it? Maybe you know about the TV show Freedom at Midnight. It's based on a book. Brilliant show. Just before that, I was listening to this podcast called The Empire, which actually talks about this, very well researched. So that really piqued my curiosity, and then I started reading different things. So yeah, Empire podcast and Freedom at Midnight, the book or the TV show is what I'd recommend.
Oh, okay. Good. And
Yeah.
any app which you think is very interesting in nowadays? What you use, what you see, newer ones,
So
apart
I
from
think for
Simple
me
Human.
it's
Yeah.
about principle. I think it's Polar Steps. I really like Polar Steps. This is again a travel app, even though I was like
No, no,
vehemently against travel
I
apps,
know
but
Polar Steps because that was exactly the app which you shared to me when I shared review to you. You asked,
yes, yeah, yeah, yeah.
hear me out, just check this and stop working. What? Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, Polar Steps is my favorite app. I think it just does things beautifully. But even Polar Steps, right? Like I use it as a travel journal more than a travel tracking app. So I write down end of the day or after 2 days, I just write down my stuff in the app. And I have zero followers on Polar Steps. I don't let anyone follow me. It's just for me. And I go back and like read, hey, what happened 2 years ago on a specific day.
Nice.
It's kind of nice. Yeah. So yeah,
Got it. Yeah. Phalgun,
that's
thank
yeah.
you so much. And not like wrapping it up, but yeah, I mean, like it's good to know. I mean, like because we hear you in different parts, and when we know it more from our POV point of view, that how you pretty much have
Mm,
navigated
yeah.
through all these things. There are many more things to talk about, but yeah, the time is short, and yeah. So thank you so much.
Thank you so
Thanks for
much. Yeah,
being
no, this was
wonderful.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We'll
absolutely.
keep in
Thank you.
touch. Yeah, thank you so much. That's all
Yes.
for today. And thanks to Palmo. We'll keep in touch.